Dalkrith was once full of wanderers and warriors like yourself. Those were better days.
Come on in. Let me know if you need anything, or take a seat by the fire and I'll send someone over.
Excuse me, madam. I don't normally do this, but... have you got a moment to talk?
Oh, there once was a hero named Ragnar.
Marvelous. My name is Lucien Flavius. I'm a scientist, philosopher, amateur wizard, and something of a musician, though I suppose that's more the hobby. I couldn't help noticing that you seem... how can I put this? Well acquainted with the less savoury side of Skyrim?
Oh, you talk.
As a matter of fact, I do. I'm here in Skyrim on an expedition, academic mainly. I find the province simply fascinating. The flora, the fauna, the ruins, both Dwemer and Nordic, the architecture, the politics. Trouble is, I'm really not much of a fighter. I know a few spells and can just about swing a sword, but beyond that, I'm pretty useless in combat. Skyrim's no place for a milk drinker like me. Not on my own, anyway. So, I'm looking for someone to travel with.
You need to leave.
I suppose what I'm asking is, would you awfully mind if I tag along? I will of course compensate you most handsomely for putting up with me.
You need to leave.
Oh, shall we say 300 septims up front?
You need to leave now.
After that, I'll top you up every time we come across something useful to my research.
You need to leave.
At your discretion, of course. No obligations, save that you take me with you, and assist in keeping me alive wherever possible.
You need to leave.
Oh, splendid. Here's your gold.
You need to leave.
This is going to be
now.
quite the adventure.
You need to leave.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Lead on.
You need to leave.
You're going to have the men around here wrapped around your finger in no time.
What can I do for you? My wisdom is yours to siphon as you will. So many things. The culture, the architecture, but most of all, the enormous Dwemer presence here. The technology the dwarves possessed all those years ago is miles beyond us, even today. The chance to study it in person, I just couldn't resist. Cyrodiil, though I suppose you could probably guess that. I grew up in the Imperial City, mostly with my nose in a book. My family own a small amount of property there, and they always encouraged me to pursue my interests. Namely, knowledge, in all its forms. I spent some time at the Arcane University, a couple of years at the archives of White Gold Tower, and I've studied at every academy in the city. But no amount of academic knowledge can compare to some practical experience. I've done reading about the world. Now I want to see it. Oh, the Flaviuses are firmly rooted in the Imperial City. We've always had a strong sense of home. We're a tight-knit bunch, and we get on rather well most of the time. They worry, though, particularly about me. Gave them quite a shock when I told them about this expedition. Davidicus is his name. He's an academic like me, always up to his elbows in old scrolls. He does a lot of consultancy work for the Imperial government, hunts down relics for them, that sort of thing. I'd be lying if I said we always saw eye to eye, but I owe a lot to him, and he's very dear to me. Captain Lyra of the Imperial Legion. She and I couldn't be more different, but she's always supported me in everything I've done. She fought against the Thalmor in the Great War. In fact, she was there for Lord Nurofin's defeat at the Battle of the Red Ring. She retired to marry my father and raise me, but despite her career, she never tried to force me onto the same path. By the time I was old enough to hold a book, it was clear I was going to follow my father into the academic world, and she was delighted for me. I write to her fairly regularly. My father, too. And while she worries, I think she's proud of me for doing this. I hope so, anyway. None. I was the proverbial apple of my parents' proverbial eyes. And yes, they spoiled me rotten. Sometimes I wonder what it would have been like to have had a brother or a sister. But then I wouldn't be quite who I am today. So I can't complain. Alright then. Sure. Now that you mention it, I suppose there is. Somewhere here in Skyrim, there's a Dwemer ruin called Doomsbethar. I came across a text referring to it in my last few months at the Arcane University. Dwemerus is a fiddly language, often the same words can have multiple meanings, but I'm fairly sure it translates loosely to bound ghosts. It piqued my curiosity. The use of soul gems in Dwemer automatons is well documented, but no one really knows much about their purpose or function. I thought perhaps this place of bound ghosts might be something to do with that, so I did some more research, but I just can't find the location. My father's looking into it for me while I'm here on my expedition. If he finds anything, he's going to let me know. Absolutely not. I've tried. Divines know I've tried, but I just can't get the knack. Every single horse I've ever tried to ride just throws me off. Or maybe I just fall off. The point is, I can't ride. Maybe one day I'll learn, but today is sadly not that day. Alright then. Let me know if you need anything else.